Welcome to Aven's Path to Calm, where we explore the art of slowing down and finding beauty in the small moments. Today we're taking you on a journey to Mallorca, a place of sunlit shores, gentle waves and quiet serenity. Inspired by Elena Voroniuk's A Tranquil Escape and insights from Aven's Path to Calm, we'll dive into the power of slow content, mindfulness, and how embracing stillness can transform our well-being. So take a deep breath, settle in, and let's begin.
Okay, so close your eyes for a minute and just imagine like the warmth of the sun right on your skin and that smell of like salt air. And you hear the gentle waves lapping at the shore, and off in the distance you see these mountains, just these majestic mountains rising up and meeting the endless blue sky. Can you picture that?
Oh, wow, yeah.
That's Mallorca.
It sounds so peaceful.
It is, and today we're going to do a deep dive into that feeling of tranquility. And we're going to explore how experiencing that beauty, so especially the time that makes you slow down, can really enhance your well-being.
I love that.
Yeah, so to help us, we have two sources. We have Elena Voroniuk's blog post and video called A Tranquil Escape, Northern Mallorca with Soothing Piano Melodies.
Okay.
And then a blog post from Aven's Path to Calm about the benefits of slow content.
It's interesting how, the world's always telling us to speed up,
Right.
consume more, but there's this movement that's telling us to slow down
Exactly.
and enjoy the moment.
And Elena's work is such a perfect example of that. She captures that tranquil atmosphere of Northern Mallorca. And it invites you to pause and breathe and just... She talks about in her post how she waited for the off-season when the crowds died down and the island just kind of settled into this quiet rhythm.
It seems like she really wanted to escape the craziness of life,
I think so, yeah.
and find a deeper peace.
Yeah, and you can just feel it in her work. She talks about like the mountains cascading to the sea and the warmth of the sun, and it just has this incredibly inviting serenity. It just washes over you. And she doesn't just rely on the visuals either. She uses these peaceful piano melodies that like create this meditative atmosphere.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So she's using all of our senses
Yeah.
to bring us into that calm.
Exactly.
And that reminds me of Aven's Path to Calm and something they talk about called micro moments.
Oh, I love that. Micro moments. What are those?
Well, they describe them as these, like tiny little moments in our day where we can just pause, take a breath,
Yeah.
and appreciate something simple, like the warmth of the sun or the sound of birds.
Or the way the light filters through the leaves.
Exactly.
It's like finding these little pockets of peace just hidden all over, waiting for us to notice them.
And Elena's video seems to be full of these moments.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just the big landscapes,
Right.
It's the way she shows the light hitting the water or the trees swaying and the wind in the leaves. It's like she's telling us to slow down and pay attention to the details.
Right.
And really savor those moments.
And that's so important.
It is.
Because even if we can't escape to Mallorca, we can find those moments anywhere.
Exactly.
In our everyday lives.
And Aven's Path to Calm really emphasizes that all those little micro moments, when you put them all together, they can actually have a big impact on how we feel overall.
Yeah, they say slowing down and connecting with nature can be so good for both our mental and physical health. Like there's studies that show that if you look at peaceful scenes and hear calming sounds, it can actually lower your heart rate and blood pressure.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's like we're designed to respond well to beauty and peace.
Yeah, it's just that we don't prioritize those things enough,
Right.
In a world where everyone's telling us to be busy and go, 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 you forget to just be present and see how much beauty there is around us. It's like we get so caught up in doing things that we forget about just being.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, and I think Elena's work and really all slow content, it reminds us to do that, to just pause and be present.
Yeah, and to reconnect with that feeling of
Wonder.
and awe that we lose sight of.
In the everyday.
All the busyness.
Yeah, it's like she's showing us a new way to live, one that's more mindful and peaceful and connected to all the beauty that's out there.
And that's a beautiful invitation, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, it makes me want to go to Mallorca, like right now.
Well, maybe it can inspire us to find moments of peace and beauty here,
Yeah.
So.
What really stood out to me in her blog was how she described Mallorca as sinking deep into her heart.
Okay.
It wasn't just a place she visited, It was a whole experience that changed her.
That's the power of art.
Yeah.
It connects us to something bigger and brings up emotions and memories that stay with us.
And when she shares those experiences through her art, like she does here, it kind of creates this ripple effect, right?
Yeah.
Of peace and beauty.
It touches other people.
Yeah, and inspires them to find those connections themselves.
It's like she's planting seeds of tranquility
I love that.
and inviting us to grow our own inner peace and beauty.
That's a beautiful way to put it. That makes me even more curious to learn about how she makes those moments in her art.
Should we look into that more?
Yeah, let's keep going with this deep dive in part 2, and we'll uncover the secrets behind her creative process.
Sounds great. Welcome back to our exploration of Majorca and this whole idea of slowing down. We were talking about Elena's video and how it just captures this like tranquil beauty. But you know what's really cool?
What's that?
It's how she actually like guides the viewers to experience it, you know?
You mean in that section of her blog post called A Note on Watching the Film?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's obvious she put a lot of thought into how people interact with her art.
It's not just hitting play, you know, and passively watching. She wants people to like actively participate in creating a real experience. Like she really emphasizes choosing the highest resolution possible on YouTube.
And she even mentions that even on the highest setting, the YouTube version is super compressed compared to the original.
Oh, wow.
And she's willing to share the full quality version with anyone who wants it.
That's dedication.
I know, right?
It shows you how much she cares about her art. She's not just trying to get views or anything.
Right.
She wants people to see every detail, the nuances, just the richness of the landscapes.
It's like how we were talking about those micro moments earlier. By telling viewers to slow down and look closer, she's helping them find all these hidden gems of beauty that they might have missed otherwise.
Like she's saying, don't just look at the surface, you know, really dive deep and find the treasures.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of what makes slow content so powerful. It's not just about pretty pictures or calming sounds, you know. It's about creating an experience that actually encourages viewers to be present.
And connect with the beauty on a deeper level.
Exactly. And Elena's artistic choices are so fascinating. She talks about how she intentionally filmed the Majorca video so that each scene, like, unfolds slowly.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, to give viewers time to, as she says, dive into its peaceful beauty.
I like that.
She's not rushing from one beautiful view to the next. She lets each moment breathe, you know.
So the viewer can savor it.
Yeah, and connect with that tranquility.
And that's like a tool for mindfulness, right? By slowing down the visual pace. Yeah. She's encouraging us to slow down our minds, quiet all the thoughts, and just be with what we see.
It's like a guided meditation through her camera lens.
Exactly.
Wow.
And this brings us back to what Aven's Path to Calm said about the benefits of beauty for our mental and physical health.
Right. They say those experiences can reduce stress, lower anxiety, and even improve our mood.
It makes sense, right?
It does.
When you take the time to appreciate beauty, whether it's nature, art, or music, it takes your mind off your worries and helps you feel peace and contentment.
Elena talks about how Majorca, how it sunk deep into her heart, and she spent a long time thinking about those memories before making the video.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't just a quick visual thing for her.
It
was a really personal, like, transformative journey for her.
And that makes her work so compelling, you know?
I think so, too.
It has her emotional connection to the island in it, her own desire for peace, and that really comes through.
Yeah.
And it invites us to connect with those feelings in ourselves.
She even talks about how she put her feelings into the music.
Oh, wow.
Which makes it even deeper. It's like she wants us to not just see the beauty, but feel it too.
Right. It's a reminder that art is about more than just how it looks. It's about emotions and sharing our inner world with others.
And inviting them to connect with something deeper.
Exactly. And that's what's so great about slow content. It's not just about information or entertainment.
Right.
It's about having an experience that, like, feeds your soul.
And makes you feel more connected to yourself.
The world.
And the world.
Yeah.
So how do you think viewers can cultivate this mindful approach to art?
That's a good question.
Even beyond Elena's video.
Yeah.
Well, I think one thing is to be intentional about what we choose to look at and listen to, you know? Do we want to fill our minds with noise and distractions?
Right.
Or do we want experiences that uplift and inspire us?
That's so important.
It is. We have more control over our media than we realize.
That's true.
By choosing to engage with things that align with our values and what we want,
Yeah.
we can make a better media landscape for ourselves, one that's more mindful and nourishing.
I like that. And I think this is a good point to transition into Aven's path to calm and their view on slow content.
Okay.
They have some great tips for being mindful and connecting with beauty in our daily lives.
Should we dive into that?
Absolutely. Let's continue in part 3.
So welcome back to our deep dive. We've been talking about slowing down and appreciating beauty and Elena's amazing work in this idea of slow content.
Yeah.
And now I think it's time to see how we can bring those ideas into our own lives.
Yeah, that's a good point. We've been enjoying the beauty of Mallorca,
Yeah.
but how can we take that feeling and apply it to our own lives?
Exactly. And that's where that Aven's Path to Calm blog comes in.
Right.
It gives us some really practical advice. They talk about how being mindful and appreciating beauty doesn't have to mean you have to fly off to some island.
Yeah.
You can find those moments of peace right here, right now.
It's all about those micro moments.
Yes,
Yeah.
those tiny little pockets of calm we can find.
If we just pay attention.
Exactly. Like when you pause to enjoy the sun on your skin.
Or really taste your coffee.
It's about slowing down and using all your senses.
Aven's Path to Calm says that all those little moments, when you add them up, they can have a huge impact on how you feel.
Oh, for sure.
It's like building a mosaic of peace.
I love that. And they give us some tips for how to find those moments.
Like what?
Well, one that stood out to me was mindful looking.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of just glancing at things, they want us to really see them, to notice the colors, the textures, like it could be a flower or a tree or a piece of art or even just a cloud.
It's about retraining our minds
Yeah.
to be more aware of the beauty around us.
Instead of just letting it all feed into the background.
And the more you do it, the more those moments will just appear in your day.
It's true.
Like you're exercising your ability to see beauty. It gets stronger with practice.
They also suggest something called sensory grounding,
Okay.
which means using all your senses to be more present.
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah, so they suggest things like feeling the ground beneath your feet,
Oh, yeah.
noticing sounds around you.
Or even just focusing on your breath.
Yeah, it's about anchoring yourself in the moment instead of getting lost in thoughts about the past or worries about the future.
Right, because those thoughts can be overwhelming sometimes.
They can, but when you feel that way, if you take a moment to ground yourself with your senses, it can really calm you down.
Makes you feel more stable.
Aven's Path to Calm also talks about connecting with nature.
Which is perfect for this episode about Mallorca.
Yeah, they say that being in nature, even just for a little bit, can be so good for you.
There's something about nature that just calms you down.
Yeah.
Like it relaxes your whole body. You feel more peaceful and connected.
They suggest easy things like taking a walk in the park, or sitting under a tree, or even looking at pictures of nature.
Right. Even those small things can make a difference.
And that brings us back to art and how it can take us to those peaceful places.
Even when we can't actually go there.
Like Elena's video.
Yeah, with the beautiful scenes and music.
It's like a virtual trip to Mallorca.
It reminds you that we can find beauty and inspiration in so many ways.
Yeah, whether it's being in nature, experiencing art, or just finding those little moments of appreciation in our everyday lives.
It's about weaving peace and beauty into your life, little by little, moment by moment.
And that's a beautiful thought to end on, don't you think?
I do.
We started by taking a trip to the peaceful shores of Mallorca. We explored slow content, and we learned how to be more mindful and appreciate the beauty all around us.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we hope you take these ideas with you.
Yeah.
Remember to slow down, notice the beauty that surrounds you, and remember that peace and tranquility are not some far-off place.
Right.
They are something you can find within yourself, wherever you are.
That's a great reminder.
Thanks for joining us.
We hope today's deep dive has given you a moment to pause and reconnect with the beauty around you. Whether it's the warmth of the sun, the sound of the wind, or simply the space to breathe, these small moments matter. If you enjoyed this episode, let us know your thoughts and don't forget to explore more on Aven's Path to Calm. Until next time, take it slow, find your stillness, and remember, the beauty of the world is always within reach.